The development of leadership skills such as empathy, emotional intelligence, communication, conflict resolution, and teamwork have become a critical piece of earning an MBA. Today's University of Wisconsin-Madison full-time MBA podcast focuses on the opportunities to develop leadership skills that we have at the Wisconsin MBA outside of the classroom. My name is Randy Parvin, Assistant Director of Admissions and Recruitment for the full-time MBA and MS programs. To learn more, I have invited Mark Matosian, and Mark is the Director of MBA Student Services. Mark, welcome.
Well, thanks, Randy. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, can you share with folks your background and what you do here at the School of Business?
Sure, I'd be glad to. So I began with my undergraduate studies here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I had an undergraduate degree in communication arts right across the street from Granger Hall in Vilas Hall. And then did my master's degree at Indiana University in college, student personnel administration. I returned to Madison and did my PhD work in university administration. And I've now been working with the business school for almost 20 years as Director of Student Services.
For the MBA program?
Yes.
That's terrific.
Yes.
All right. When I first came to the MBA program, I was amazed about all the opportunities for MBA students. And I was thinking about this podcast, and when I came in, I was reminded of one of my favorite quotes, Max Dupree, and he said in his book, Leadership as Art. Leadership is much more an art, a belief, a condition of the heart, than a set of things to do. The visible signs of artful leadership are expressed ultimately in its practice. And one event we have here at Wisconsin that's a great example of this quote that I thought about is our Leadership Catalyst program. Why don't you tell us, Mark, about the Leadership Catalyst program?
Yep. I'd be glad to, Randy. The Leadership Catalyst program is really a great way for our students to develop leadership skills outside of the classroom. And there's a series of activities that occur during the first year and second year that develops people's personal leadership. It helps them focus on, developing their self-awareness, emotional intelligence, resilience and initiative, effective communication. It also helps them work with developing some of their team leadership skills, helping them to value global diversity, managing conflict, maximizing team effectiveness, and giving and receiving feedback. There's kind of a third component. So we have the personal leadership, the team leadership, and then the organizational leadership, which is where you want to develop your skills of influence and persuasion, empowering and delegating people, driving results, and developing talent. And the way we deliver the program is through a series of activities. So, for example, during orientation, students do Clifton Strengths as one of the ways that they can develop and understand. It's an assessment tool that helps them understand their 5 strengths. And they share these tasks with their teammates from their fall core courses. So the fall core teams get a great understanding in knowing what each other's strengths are, as opposed to focusing on what are their weaknesses or deficiencies. Yeah. Another component of Leadership Catalyst is the Leadership Symposium. So there's a week that's devoted to activities in the fall semester in between the modules. So we have core courses that are taught in 7-week modules, and between the first modules and the second set of modules, we have 1 week of activities that are designed to help students. And those topics range from everything from sessions on emotional intelligence, which I referenced earlier. There's plenary style sessions they can go to. For example, we had a futurist, Rebecca Ryan, who came in and talked to the students about understanding the generations that are in the workforce. For example, baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, and giving the students skills that will help them work with all of those different populations and understanding how they are going to, as future leaders, need to have a greater understanding of how to work with those various populations. Mm-hmm. So Leadership Catalyst has many components to it. In addition to the symposium, we also have a Weichel Leadership Speaker Series where CEOs, C-suite leaders come in and basically share their insights of what it means to be an effective leader in today's workforce. And that's another great opportunity for students to learn and gain insights on leadership development. In addition to that, of course, there are some courses that help support that. So we have a course called Leading and Working in Teams. We have a course in ethics. And then in addition to that, we have an integrated company analysis project, which is a capstone course, which also helps at the team level that I referenced earlier of developing those team skills as a leader. Additionally to the Leadership Symposium, the speaker series, there are TED Talks that are facilitated by second-year MBAs where students can go during the lunch hour, hear a TED Talk, and gain some insights on a very key topic that is helpful to students in understanding, again, ways that in which leaders are giving insights on how to be an effective leader themselves.
One of the things you mentioned was interesting to me was emotional intelligence. What happens around that for development of leaders and students while they're here?
Sure, Randy. You know, one of the things that's really great is that one of the activities that we encourage our students to complete as part of Leadership Catalyst is to take an assessment of their emotional intelligence. And this is something that a lot of employers have commented on that they find to be important among future leaders, is that they want them to not only have great IQ, but strong EQ. And the emotional intelligence assessment tool allows students to get a baseline reading on where they're at with their EI. Yeah. And then they have a book that accompanies that allows them to then determine ways in which they can continue to grow on their emotional intelligence. So it's not just a simple assessment, but the book also allows the students over time to then see where they're making progress in certain areas that maybe are the blind spots for them in terms of their own emotional intelligence.
And then do the students take that test again at the end of
They have the ability, with the way the book is set up, to actually take the test again and see if they've made progress. So I think that's a great way to gauge development and growth as a leader.
Wow, it would be. I mean, it sounds like something I should be participating in. Thought I had as you were talking that I want to dig deeper in is the ICA activity. What specifically is that?
Right. So ICA stands for Integrated Company Analysis. And our students in the second semester of their core courses are assigned a project with an actual company in which they are asked on their small group team to analyze a problem that sometimes is somewhat ambiguous. Okay. It's not clearly well defined. The students are tasked with coming up with recommendations for the company on this question or topical area. And then, as a team, they do research together and come up with a proposed solution. This is really valuable for students in terms of, it goes back to what I referenced earlier on the team leadership component, that in essence, these problems typically have a global component to them. So this helps them value the global diversity. They're having to manage conflict by working through these solutions and coming up with a solution. This will then help them learn how to maximize their team effectiveness skills in working together. And the other great piece of this is the faculty serve as judges for the end of semester presentations, and thereby the students do receive feedback on the experience, as well as the students as team members are giving feedback to their teammates in terms of how they functioned and worked on the team.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
It's really a great way of putting what they are learning in the classroom into good use through a project. And of course, the company then also feels that this is very valuable for them.
Can you give examples of past projects?
Right. Well, so we've worked with our partners and we are on some non-disclosure agreements with that regard. But in terms of, I will just say that we've been able to come up with some real world solutions for our partners such that they've been inclined to renew their agreement to work with us going forward. And I will just say that we've worked with in the project with a large healthcare provider.
Sounds like a great way to develop leadership at multiple levels.
Absolutely.
Leading a project, being a part of a team, growing and getting feedback.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would just say that I think it gives the individuals great insights. That actually helps them quite a bit in preparation for their internship experience. So this is done in the spring semester of the first year, and then the students, within several weeks of completing their integrated company analysis project, head out on their summer internships. This is a great experience for them because this prepares them for working in teams and groups of people, working on a project that may not be clearly defined. So our students have found this to be extremely helpful to them.
Let's go back a little. With the Weichel series, can you give people a flavor of the types of speakers we've had in the past?
Yes, we've had a wide range of speakers that serve as our executive C-suite speakers for the Weichel Leadership Speaker Series. They've ranged from the CEO of Duluth Trading Company, the chief brand officer at Procter & Gamble, the CEO of Culver's, and even we had the athletic director for the University of Wisconsin-Madison. This is a great opportunity for the students.
Yeah. Well, from folks who are not from the Upper Midwest, can you tell them what Culver's is?
Absolutely. Culver's is what I guess you would refer to as a high-end fast food chain specializing in their butter burgers and great custard.
And what is custard?
Custard,
isn't this a uniquely Upper Midwest thing?
Yeah,
custard?
so we have on our campus, of course, the delicious Babcock ice cream, which is made right in our ag school and is served at our student unions and is really delicious. But custard actually is, and I'm not a dairy expert here. So,
me neither.
So I believe there are eggs that are part of what makes it custard versus ice cream does not have eggs in it. And so that's what gives it the rich taste in addition to the cream. Now, for those, being from the dairy state, I should know all of this very well.
I as well. Is there anything I've missed about the Leadership Catalyst program that I should have asked you or that you want to mention?
No, I think we've done a great job of conveying what Leadership Catalyst is all about. The one thing I will mention is that, this program is really built upon feedback from our employers, alumni.
That is wonderful.
Current students actually have opportunities to give, feedback of what they are the skill areas they think will be helpful to them in terms of developing their own leadership. And I think this is something that we've tried to be extremely nimble with in coming up with topics and areas that are relevant, meaningful, and are really going to help students as they go forward in being leaders.
You mentioned Babcock Hall ice cream.
Yes.
It's one of the things that's uniquely UW-Madison.
Yes.
And the city of Madison, which is wonderful. Is there anything else like that very unique to UW-Madison and our city that you'd like to share, personally that you enjoy?
Well, I mean, for me, I think the one thing that I think is remarkable about our campus and city and what connects it, we have this thing we refer to as the Wisconsin idea, which is that we say we take the campus, what we learn on campus to the boundaries of the city, the state, and the world. And there are so many great ways in which the campus life is connected to the city. One of the programs that I'm particularly proud of is we have a program called MBAs with a Heart, where we connect our students to agencies throughout Dane County to give a half day of community service. And it doesn't just end with that half day. Our students then go on through the various MBA student organizations to help volunteer at those activities throughout the school year. So, for example, one group is the River Food Pantry, where we've worked with that group for quite a long time in supporting the needs of our homeless within Dane County. That then extends to additional activities beyond that half day I was referencing. Another group that we've worked with quite a bit is St. Mary's Adult Daycare, and we've done activities with that population in which we've helped them put on a summer carnival, but we've also gone back later in the year to help them with, they do like a prom activity for their participants.
Nice.
And this is just a nice way of giving back to the community.
All right. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you for visiting with us today, Mark.
You're welcome, Randy. My pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and I hope this has brought some light to leadership at the Wisconsin MBA. Together forward and on Wisconsin.